this time she's standing up for herself. And she had to be pushed that far. The story took a horror movie scenario for this girl to finally realize that she has this capability to stand up and fight for herself. So that's the first level. That's the classic story level for any horror movie, is that typically there's a character who is more afraid than the rest, who must rise to the occasion and finally be brave. That's the typical horror movie level one. You know, that's what Evil Dead does. That's what Ash is, Ash Williams, and that's one level. But then the other level is that the monster recognized her pain because he shared the same pain. This long time trauma and abuse from someone who is supposed to care about you, that creates in your head this portal that makes you think it's okay to hurt yourself and hide yourself and bury yourself. Because while she was buried in clothing, he buried himself in personalities, each personality to help him just cope with the reality that he couldn't deal with. You know, some people can go through horrific things and still come out functional and get a family and have that, and some people go through horrific things and they can't. And the nature versus nurture, I mean, you can't quantify these things. You know, what makes a person, you cannot be quantified. But that's what being human is, and that's what this whole moment is about. This sequence is about two wounded animals who are in the process of healing and overcoming and standing their own ground, finally coming to terms with themselves in some kind of way. In the case of Kevin Wendell Crumb, he's gone fully into the darkness and fully into his beast form. And on Anya Taylor-Joy's side, she has come to the light. Her pain has been exposed, but she's realized that she has the strength to stand up for herself. All these cops show up, and while sitting in the cop car, there's this beautiful moment, and it's really my favorite moment in the movie. My second favorite after this rejoice scene. My second favorite moment in the movie is when this female officer, you know, opens the door and says, "Hey, your uncle's here to pick you up." And Casey just, at first she's kind of afraid, and then she just decides to stay still. And she keeps her head up and she says nothing. And the cop realizes, oh, you're not excited to see your uncle. And you know, even though nothing needs to be said, this is like the classic Hitchcockian storytelling. Nothing needs to be said at this point. We know she's going to tell the cop what's been going on, and she's going to get away from her uncle. But we only know that because she had the bravery to stand up to the beast. And what the beast said to her affected her in some kind of deep way, where this thing that she was so terrified of recognized her and saw her as beautiful and saw her as something like itself. It's like, you and me are both evolved. So rejoice. You're good. You're good in my book. I don't need to eat you because you're already one of the evolved things that I'm supposed to help come into existence.